Question number 8, Sue Moroney.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Women's Affairs. Has she requested or received any briefings from Ministry officials on the Equal Pay Act case which commenced this week in the Employment Court? Speaker.
Honourable Joe Goodhue.
No. While the Equal Pay Act does not fall within my ministerial responsibilities, I do regularly receive briefings from the Ministry of Women's Affairs on how we can continue to reduce the gender pay gap, which has been steadily declining since its lowest level in 2001, and is now at its lowest level since 2001, when this measure started being used. I would caution the member because this case is still before the courts.
Supplementary question. Sue Moroney.
Thank you. Well, does she think it's fair that the woman taking the case, rest home caregiver Christine Bartlett, is paid just $14.46 an hour after 20 years' experience as a caregiver? And does that represent equal pay to her?
Point of order, Dr. Jonathan Coleman.
Speaker, as the Minister said, this case is before the court, so it's inappropriate to be asking these questions in that level of detail.
Order, I accept this, and this is a difficult one because it is before the courts. As the question was asked, I would have thought it was still a question that's in order, and the Minister can rise and answer as she sees fit. Honourable Joe Goodhue.
Mr Speaker, I believe for me to answer the question asked that I would be, in fact, contravening sub judice, because it would call me to make an opinion on something that is currently being discussed in court.
No, it's not. Supplementary question.
Point of order.
Point of order.
Point of order. Point of order. I didn't actually ask the Minister to make a ruling on this. I asked her about whether she thought it was fair.
You asked the Minister, is it fair? And the Minister has said she doesn't want to comment on that because the case is now before the court. Has the member got further supplementary?
Yes, I do.
Supplementary question, Sue Moroney.
Well then, could she tell the country why the government declined the invitation to appear in court as an intervener in Christine Bartlett's equal pay case?
Mr Speaker.
Honourable Joe Goodhue.
I have no knowledge of that. I am not the Minister with any responsibility for that whatsoever.
Yes. Supplementary.
Order. Your own member is trying to call...
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Sue Moroney.
Is the Minister telling the country that as the Minister of Women's Affairs, she has no responsibility for the Equal Pay Act?
Honourable Joe Goodhue.
Mr Speaker, the Equal Pay Act is within the domain of the Minister of Labour.
Order. Question. Order. Question.
No, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker.
Point of order from the right honourable.
Mr Speaker, I'm asking you if you'd give more consideration, perhaps report to the House, on what's just happened here. You got a Minister get up and plead the sub judice rule, and he went along with it. Now, I'm not rushing to judgment here, but I would think that is far too wide a interpretation of that legislation to bar a person, Minister, not before the court on the basis of the sub judice rule. And I'd just like some further consideration of it.
I will give the matter further consideration because the member asking the question, of course, has a legal background. But this particular question was accepted as an order because it simply asked whether the Minister had requested or received reports. Supplementaries then have been, in my mind, close or marginal, but have been accepted by me as Speaker, and the Minister has chosen to address them by saying because the matter is before the court, she did not want to give an opinion. Point of order, Sue Moroney.
Mr Speaker, I'm seeking your advice. The Minister has said that she doesn't have responsibility for the Equal Pay Act, yet the responsibility for pay and employment equity was removed from the Ministry of Labour and placed with the Ministry of Women's Affairs back in 2010, and I can't see how the Minister can plead that she doesn't have responsibility for the Equal Pay Act.
Yeah, the Minister rose and said that the Equal Pay Act doesn't come under her responsibilities, and I heard an interjection from the Minister of Labour saying, ask me, it comes under mine. I would have thought that was fairly clear. Question number 9, Scott Simpson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Order. Scott Simpson.
Thank you, Mr.